Clive, are you sure you're all right? Whatever it is, you can tell me.
I had a hard enough time telling myself. I awakened as a dominant of fire, right here in this castle, and I've been running from it ever since. But now I know for certain who I really am. The second icon of fire, who killed my brother and burned this castle to the ground, was me. Ifrit.
Clive.
I took so many lives that night, and destroyed so many more, including yours. And I must atone for the crimes I've committed. But not before I learn the whole truth. How can a second icon of fire even exist? And why was I chosen as its dominant? Who is the hooded man who brought us here? And what does he want? I need to know. And since I'm still breathing, I might as well make myself useful.
We'll find your answers together. I want to learn the truth too. There'll be time enough for atonement when we're done.
I was hoping you'd say that. I don't think I could do this without you. You never were one to hide from the truth, even when we were young. And you haven't changed a bit.
You're wrong. I have changed. But I don't want to be that person anymore. The things she did were unforgivable. And yet, they're what brought us back together.
Thank you, Jill.
If he is here, then the disturbance I felt at the care must have been... Confound it! The hour is later than I thought.
Tell me, who did this, or I'll see you suffer the same fate.
The man who delivered the coffer said... He said Sid paid him.
I let you run amok with the rest of your rats, and this is how you repay me? Find out where he is. I'll crush him, flay him, rip out his heart, him and all his filthy brood, and send every last one of them to hell. Out. Now!
Yes, yes, my lord.
Benedicta.
The meaning of life. Ifrit awoken. Clive has gained control of the icon Ifrit, allowing access to new iconic abilities such as Ignition, a fiery lunge that drives back enemies while dealing continuous damage, as well as unlocking the limit break gauge. Nice. Or Devil Trigger. Slots for Ifrit's abilities are shared with those of the Phoenix and can be confirmed via the Abilities tab in the main menu. Limit Break. The Limit Break gauge is located beneath Clive's HP bar. Release Clive's Inner Beast and Semi-Prime into Ifrit by pressing L3 and R3 when this gauge is full. The gauge fills in battle both by taking damage as well as by successfully performing offensive and defensive maneuvers. Semi-priming temporarily grants increased attack, potency and speed, gradual HP regeneration, and guard-breaking strikes. So, it's Devil Trigger, basically. Which is badass.
So, what next?
We return to Eastpool. I promised the mayor I'd talk to him again. About Lady Hannah amongst other things. Though she may be loath to leave, I can't help thinking she'd be safer with Sid too.
Alright, we should arrange an introduction then.
And how many people was Benedicta with? Because obviously she was with Sid at one point. And then we see a flashback of her with somebody else we've not really met yet. And she was also banging Titan. She got around a bit, huh? Anyway, let's quickly check these abilities. So they replace or can replace these then. No? Ifrit channeled. You see, they're in here. Limit break. What does upgrading that do? Adds a second limit break gauge. And the mastery adds a third limit break gauge. Will of the Wikes? I don't know how you pronounce that. It's almost like Will of the Wisps. Because they look like wisps flying around them. Summon a storm of fireballs that circle about Clive, damaging nearby targets while also absorbing damage. Interesting. Ignition. Attack while charging, inflicting multiple hits and forcing the enemy back. Can be used in midair. That looks cool. But I guess I have to buy them first. Let's buy this one. I'll buy them both. They're both cheap. Okay. Still not too bad away from this one, which I'm going to go for next, I think. So now would that mean I can trade these in then? I can, but we can still only have two, right? And these have to be Garudas. I assume. Oh, no, they don't. Oh. But there isn't an Ifrit one. Okay. Okay. That makes sense for later on then, when we potentially get more. We had to switch them out. So I assume, I mean, there could be a third one down here. But then you'd have to keep switching between like 3 different things. That could get a bit of a mess. But I think, did Devil May Cry have that kind of stuff? You could switch between multiple like melee weapons in that. Well, I think it was like up to 2 or 3. Okay, well I'm going to switch this back to the wheel one. That can stay as is. Now what do we want to do with this then? Because we can only pick 2. I kind of want to have some Ifrit ones. But I kind of like Rising Flames as well. I like Scarlet Cyclone though for the AoE. Choices, choices. The damage is good on that though. I'm all about the damage. Let's put on... I could put... Let's switch Rising Flames for Ignition then. We'll have that as our big damage dealer. And then I might stick with the Scarlet Cyclone, maybe. I mean, this one could be good, because it's going to be like constantly doing damage while I'm doing other things, and I don't have to really worry about it. It's not exactly damaging or stagger-inducing, though, is it? Rising Flames is good for staggering. Cyclone is good for damaging. Staggering. Jesus Christ. Words. Okay. We could upgrade this again. Plus, is far off from getting this, though. But are we going to even equip this? What would we replace it with? I guess we would replace it with the Cyclone one. Because it's an AoE, right? I will save up for this for now. We're going to get this first. Okay, right. The other thing I wanted to do was save. Okay, I guess we're heading back then. Any chance we can open that other dungeon that we kind of found hidden in here? Down here, right? How do I make a marker? Does that marker stay there forever? No, I can only have one marker at once. Okay. I was wondering if I could set multiple up to remind myself there is something there to do. Were these items here before? Don't know. But we need to stock up probably after that last fight.
Torgal, what is it?
Nothing good, I'll wager. Come on.
Oh boy, here we go again. Someone's attacking somebody. I'll assume this is nothing at the minute. And we'll have to make a note to potentially come back at some point. Stocking me up for something, huh? Oh, shit.
What happened here?
Imperials! You'll pay for this!
Oh, I got all of them.
Remember our orders? No
Yeah,
survivors!
correct. What are they?
Who would order such a thing?
Dragons! I can move around while doing that, huh?
Thought you could escape us, did you, Branded? You were born a slave, and you'll die one!
Kill all the ducal dogs!
Come here, Captain.
They were innocent people! Stay down!
Get out of my face. I'm going to wipe you off the map. Get out of here, dragon.
Stay down.
You got that one, Torgal? Yeah, you got it.
All must burn! The bearers and those who sheltered them. By Empress Annabella's command!
A big boy, huh? Oh yeah, we got limit breaks now, huh? Is that the only one left, yeah? Am I better off doing abilities while I'm limit breaked, or should I just attack normally? Because I feel like attacking normally is probably better, right?
Not this time.
It's over, big boy.
I'm sorry, Lady Hannah. You deserved so much better. All of these people did. Better than my mother.
We're too late! Gav! Clive!
Acting on the orders of the Duchess, eh? We knew Eastpool was harbouring bearers. Thought they were safe enough hidden up here, but someone must have let slip. If they'd have only come to us sooner, none of this would have had to happen. Fuck!
My mother always did despise bearers. The way Father embraced them when the other nations spat on them as slaves. The way an accident of birth gave them a power that others lacked.
But why kill everyone? They meant no harm. They just wanted to be free.
This world judges that a crime punishable by death. Which is why we're going to change it. Gav, we want to help.
Thought you'd got your own stuff to be getting on with.
We do. But it can wait.
In that case, we should head back and tell Sid you've had a change of heart. He was always on it yet to join us.
All right.
And we'd best be quick. Last I heard, he was planning another excursion.
What about the villagers?
Aye. Can I leave yous lot to take care of things here?
Of course. We'll make sure they get a proper burial.
Thank you. All of you.
When you're ready, then.
Now, rats, lead me to your nest. Lord Kupka has a message for your leader. If only he knew where to send it.
Righting wrongs.
To Sid Solar, then. We have a lot to discuss.
We have a few things to update. Like this. So there was one of these things north of Martha's Rest. Or before Eastpool or whatever. Which we didn't do anything with, so that's something to remember to go back and investigate.
Look what the curl dragged in.
If
If you're gonna buy something, be quick about it.
Guessing probably not, you don't seem to have an update on you, so... I will stock up on potions while I think about it.
You'll not find a better price than that.
Then we also have some things to sell. I suppose I should sell this blade now. What use does this have?
And be thankful you got that much.
And this, I guess?
I reckon I can find a buyer. You got out else?
Yes, we need to sell these. We've got 4 of these to sell.
I reckon I can find a buyer.
10 black bloods. It's 4,000 there, nice.
And be thankful you got that much.
3 goblin coins, just for selling, right?
I reckon I can find a buyer.
And that is it. Up to 40,000 now.
Finished, are you?
I don't imagine we can upgrade this. Ooh, Nectar, what are you doing here? What? Careful you don't set that breathalyte, couple.
Well? So, what'll it be?
I wonder if we can craft anything with the item we got from Ifrit. No? I wonder what we do with it then. Maybe it'll update later, but... Craft, there's nothing on here, is there? I don't know if you can upgrade epics. So far, from the ones we've had, we've not been able to. But as far as I can tell, upgrade this one, so... Maybe they're just kind of set to whatever they are, but...
And?
Okay, I'm assuming there's not much else in here going on. We'll go and speak to the tomes guy.
Clive! You're alright! I thought you might be... Oh!
Calm down. Do we have any new songs through story? I know we haven't bought any. No. Let's go update tomes then.
Very well.
And how might this old soul be of service? I have compiled some new entries, if you would like to see them.
Oh, not quite
You
enough.
wish to study the tomes? The door to the shelves shall ever be open.
Let's go speak to Sid then. Don't see much else being
Don't
here.
mind me. Just taking a quick breather, ain't I?
You take your time, mate. Go in here now. I assume there's not much in here though.
I can set a broken arm, soothe a cough, settle a stomach. But there is no remedy for what happened in Eastpool. My talents are worthless in the face of such cruelty.
We can keep running. Or we can walk through this door.
This place is getting more crowded by the day.
I tell myself the bustle's a blessing. There'll be time enough for quiet contemplation when I'm dead. So, did you find the answers you were looking for?
I still don't know what to make of this gift, curse, or whatever it is I've been given. But there is one thing I can say for certain. I am a dominant, Ifrit. And there is nothing I can do to change that. It is a burden I must bear until my dying day.
Spoken true. Forgiveness and in turn salvation can only begin with acceptance. It's a path we all must walk, no matter how colourful our histories.
Sid, you once told me that you wanted to build a place where people could die on their own terms.
I did.
I've been thinking about that. Why not a place where people can live on their own terms? For 13 years, killing was all I knew. So obsessed with death that I never stopped to consider the lives of those around me. Lives that I see now were scarcely worth living. Be they bearers or beggars, most march blindly to their end, never realizing that they too deserve a choice. And I dare not turn a blind eye to their suffering any longer.
So, atonement then, is it?
That was the answer we found.
The only one we need.
I'll be expecting you both to pull your weight.
And we will.
Well then, with a sprinkle of fire and ice, this plan of mine might just work.
What trouble are you looking to get yourself into now?
The best kind. We're going to sneak into the Imperial capital and pay a visit to Mother.
And the last of our farmholds in the eastern provinces has succumbed to the blight.
Without their yield, we'll be hard-pressed to fill the capital's granaries before winter.
If there is a capital by then, the black creeps closer as we speak.
And yet you do naught but bawl and bluster.
Your Radiance?
If it is fertile land the Empire requires, we need but look south.
If you mean the crystalline Dominion's holdings, we are bound by mutual accord. Theirs is a neutral state whose borders we are sworn to respect.
Gentlemen, did we swear to see our people starve?
Well, I really do think that...
The gates of Oriflamme buckle at the flood of those come seeking refuge from the blight. If there is not grain enough to feed those within our walls, how, pray tell, will we feed those without? But instead of setting your minds to riddles such as these, you lock horns with an enemy from across the sea, sending our soldiers to the slaughter in their thousands. The Empire bleeds, and you sit here prattling like crones in a tea house. And you fancy yourselves leaders of men. Sanbreque is naught without her citizens. We are but their servants. If their land is being wrested away, it is our duty to claim new lands for them.
Your Radiance! You cannot mean a war of conquest.
That is exactly what I mean. It is time we expanded our dominion. This is the will of great Grieger.
There will be uproar. Then we must find a way to distract the citizenry.
But how much will that cost?
And what of our legions? Shall we raise the furs?
Well, someone will have to contend with the Dalmex.
I will not keep you. You all have much to do. Where is my son?
The Lord Prince is currently garrisoned at the Strait of Author. If it please you, I can send word requesting his immediate return to the Holy Capital.
That won't be necessary. Tell him instead to see to his wounds. Bahamut's strength will be needed again soon.
As you command.
I must have misheard. You mean to tell me that the Mother Crystals are the reason the world is dying? Are you mad?
I have been called that on occasion, but no, not today. We've all seen it firsthand. Empty wastes where once were green meadows. Land drained so dry of its ether, not even the rats remained. But where was it all going? I spent years searching for an answer, until I saw it standing right in front of me. There, in the self-same crystals we look to for their so-called blessing. All right, listen. Take this crystal. How does it allow us to conjure magics? Answer, by drawing ambient ether from the air. And where do these crystals come from?
That's easy. They're mined from the Mother Crystals.
They're one and the same. Although, admittedly, this here fits more easily in the pocket.
But the mother crystals are massive. Some as large as mountains.
So you see the problem. Imagine just how much ether can be drawn by something that size. As to where it's all going, mind, well, I can't know everything, can I?
We are taught that the mother crystals are divine. Their ether a gift from the heavens. For centuries, nations have fought and fallen for want of that gift. If what you say is true, how did no one else see it?
Who says they didn't? Maybe the truth was inconvenient.
Inconvenient to whom, exactly?
The higher-ups? The gods themselves?
So now you want to do something about the crystals? And what? We're not helping bearers and dominants anymore.
I didn't say that. I made a promise and I intend to keep it. But if we continue down this path, there's only one fate that awaits the realm. And we can't very well set our people free if they're all lying dead in a blighted ditch. Not if we want to create a place where they can live on their own terms anyway. Sort of defeats the purpose. So, if we have to bring the old world crashing down in order to build us a new one, what say you? Are you with me?
I suppose it's about time I repaid your faith.
You could have just said aye. But it's nice to have you aboard all the same.
What have I got myself into? I'm going to need more than a few potions for this.
So we're finding the mother crystals now, huh? Which I'm guessing are just these things. So this is the one that we were just looking at in that cinematic. Which is literally the size of a mountain, if they're not all the size of a mountain. How many is there? This one here looks very like typical crystal, doesn't it? The blue colour and size and shape. So, 4? At least on this map. I assume this is the general map size. I don't imagine it expands much bigger than this. Okay, so we've got a side quest to do in the bunks. And one by the entrance. Oh, they're finally updated now, have they? Of course they have. Even Thames has got an update, I think.
Don't mind me. Just taking a quick breather, ain't I?
And I. Good for you.
Wanted to send a message.
You've lost a letter. Nothing too important, I hope.
Not just a letter. I lost everything. There's a hole in my damn pack, and fool that I am, I didn't bloody notice.
It can't be that bad, surely.
How could it be any worse? I'm a courier. I carry things. If I can't do my job right, then what am I good for? Nothing, that's what. I buggered it right up. That means no herbs for the infirmary, and no fresh meat for our cooking pots. Worst of all, that letter I lost? It was for Sid. A letter he's been waiting on for days.
Maybe if you retrace your steps.
I'd scour Storm from coast to coast if I could, but there are curse breakers in the field, counting on my arrival. No, I'll just have to own up to Otto and Sid. They're gonna skin me alive.
Fine. Tell me where to look.
Are you serious? Thank you.
It sounds like the hideaway could use those supplies. So, where should I start?
Gotan's bales, perhaps? I took a tumble in the bushes when I was passing through. There's a chance my pack might have caught on something. If you can find everything I dropped, you'll be doing us all a favor. And if you can find Sid's letter, you'll be saving my life.
If it's there, I'll find it.
Wonderful. Now, I have to run if I'm to make my next delivery in time. I trust you can find your way to Gotan's bales. Oh, and hurry, will you? Sid doesn't like to be kept waiting.
I'm sure he doesn't.
Red letter day accepted. We'll get right on it.
The letter won't last very long out in the elements. I should make for Sambrek as soon as I can.
Not until we picked up some other quests and checked out everybody. Even Tom's got an update. I thought I was updating him. Let's go and have a look what Smithy has first.
Well? What do you want?
I can craft the flame tongue now. From... Oh, it uses the storm cry. Interesting. So do we think then the next one will use probably... Well, I assume that we'll use this up, so it'll probably use the flame tongue up to make the next weapon, and then just keep kind of like melding together to make the next weapon, I guess. I mean, we're not going to use these things for anything else, are we? So let's make it.
No scratches, all right?
Flame tongue. With a tongue of flame, spake his words of destruction. Is there anything else? Can we reinforce what we've got? The epics? No, seemingly not.
And?
Okay, nice. Well, that looks even better than last time. It's all black and red. Very good. Matches our outfit very well. I'm a fan.
So what God's forsaken corner of the realm is Sid dragging you off to this time?
Oriflamme.
The holy capital. And what business would you lot having? On second thoughts, I don't want to know.
Good, because I don't want to tell you. What do you have that is any better? Lionheart Tonic. It is said that one's own limits are made to be broken, but that doing so is easier said than done. Fortunately, there are ways of convincing the mind that such improbable feats are not only possible, but readily within reach, this tonic being one of them. Gradually fills limit break gauge for 30 seconds. I'm not too bothered about buying any of those for now, because I don't think filling the limit gauge has been an issue. The twice that we've done it so far. But it's good to know that they are there. I will save my dough for now, because one day we've got some expensive music sheets to buy. And that is it. We're all stocked up, so...
Speaking of Oriflamme, I hear the trading routes leading south have seen more than double the usual traffic. If you ask me, summat foul's brewing. And a tint tires borbile tea. Oh, just go and see Otto, will you?
All right.
Sorry, Mum. Jesus. Well, get right on that. We've got some side stuff to do.
He's never this late. I can't help but fear the worst. Where are you, Randall?
Is everything all right?
Forgive me, young man. I was in a world of my own. I'm worried about my friend, you see. He left some time ago and hasn't returned. And you know what it's like out there for a bearer on his own.
Why leave the safety of the hideaway?
For coin. Sad though it is, our need outweighs the risk. The hideaway can't survive on goodwill alone. And though Karen does what she can, her coffers aren't bottomless. Wait. You were a soldier, were you not? In the Imperial Army?
I was.
Then might I ask a favour of you? I'm too old to be traipsing hither and yon. Will you go and find him for me?
I'll do what I can.
Oh, thank you.
What can you tell me about your friend?
His name is Randall, and I suspect you'll find him in Lost Wing. He's been working for Quinton, the tavern keeper. He'll know something, I'm sure.
I'll speak to him.
Safe travels, my friend. And thank you again.
Needs of the many. Okay. Should we head out now, or should we go update terms first? Let's go do stuff here first, I guess. Speak to him in a minute, I guess, before we head out.
Good day. Or is it night? It can be hard to tell.
Hey!
There is a rather fascinating excerpt I've been meaning to show you.
New entries.
You wish to study the tomes?
I do at some point, but maybe not quite all now.
You are always welcome, Clive.
Thanks. Should we speak to this guy, or should we go do these side quests first? I don't want to trigger any event or something and get us locked out of doing it. Okay, let's go and see where these quests are then. Another one here, and then one at Lost Wing. Should we go to Lost Wing first? Do you think there might be some side quests there we could potentially pick up? Since it is a town. We'll head there first.
Ah, if it isn't Sid's young protege. To what do I owe the pleasure?
I'm looking for a bearer called Randall. I hear he's been coming to you for work. He was expected back at the hideaway some time ago. A friend of his asked me to check on him.
Randall, you say? The porter? Yes, I know him. And I can't say I'm surprised if he has been delayed. I gave him enough to do. Though, thinking about it, he should probably have been back by now.
I'll go and look for him. Where was he headed?
He was to meet an associate of mine to the south of here, on Lorbert's Pass. I do hope nothing's happened to him. Be sure to let me know, Clive.
I will get right on that. Okay, one down here. Should we go do that first, or should we go do this first? Let's head over here. We've got some items to find,
Said
right?
his pack might have split while he was passing through the bales. I better keep my eyes open. Good. Looks like I'm in the right area.
How would you not notice if this thing dropped from your pack? These are like hefty bags.
More of the lost supplies.
Oh wait, I thought that was another one, but it's the other quest.
Doubt he could have fit much more in his pack. Still no sign of Sid's letter, though. We've come this far. Might as well ask around.
A little overdressed to be picking grapes, aren't you? Are you here for Master Quentin?
I'm looking for a letter someone dropped nearby, and I suppose you've seen it.
Can't say I have, sorry.
Well, if you do...
Wait, I did pass a dog with something in its mouth a little while back. Could have been a piece of paper. No idea if it was your letter, but you never know.
Which way did it go?
Towards Lost Wing? Seemed well looked after to me. Dare say someone there's been feeding it.
To the village, then. Thank you.
Potted and smoked.
It seems we have our culprit. Sorry, boy. Someone's waiting for this. And he's waited long enough already. Hopefully this will keep our career out of trouble.
Okay, that's that done then. Let's make a run down here, I guess.
A whole day on the line.
Are you all right?
The hanged man. Thank the gods. You're one of us. We were attacked. Beastmen on the road. Randall knew he didn't play the hero, but reckless sod insisted on drawing him off.
Where did this happen?
Further down the road. In the clearing. Please. You have to see that he's safe.
I'll do what I can. You go back to Lost Wing and tell Quentin what happened.
The clearing where we were attacked. It's not far from here. Go! Find Randall!
Beastmen, huh? Have we fought beastmen? The goblins count as beastmen? I guess they are.
Goblins. Why am I not surprised?
Maximum damage. Meh. I mean, so far the limit gauge fills up pretty fast. There he goes. Ow. Oh, you're still going, huh? It's alright, I'll just tank the hits, it's fine. That's some better damage. He looks kind of dead.
Looks like I was too late. He doesn't deserve to rot by the roadside. I'll speak to Quentin.
Can't save them all, I guess.
Ah, there you are. My man told me what happened. And? I can't help but notice you're alone. Damn it. I feared as much.
He's not far from the South Gate. I trust you'll do right by him.
Of course. I'll send someone right away. I knew he was brave, though I didn't know he was reckless. Poor fool.
And you known him long?
A while. I liked the fact that he didn't shy away from dangerous work, and he liked what I paid.
Because it helped keep the hideaway afloat.
I'll tell Sid what happened here. I expect he'll be none too pleased to learn of Randall's fate. And I suppose you're none too happy either. For your trouble.
Boatload of materials. Right, I guess that is it. Back to the hideaway, I guess. And in this other one.
There you are. I just got back to the hideaway and thankfully Otto hasn't seen me yet. I don't suppose you,
Found the things you dropped. I did.
I was so sure they'd be gone. And the letter?
Only a little worse for wear.
Lost supplies. Supplies intended for delivery to the hideaway by the clumsy courier Glenn. Lost on the road due to the unfortunate placed hole in his pack. Lost letter. Letter intended for delivery to the hideaway. Yeah, same thing.
No more skulking about in the shadows for me, then. And all thanks to you. Losing those supplies was one thing, but if Sid had found out about that letter...
Is it about Cursebreaker business?
If only. It's from his daughter. She's off studying in Canver, and her letters are all that keeps Sid sane while she's away.
He never mentioned a daughter.
Well, he's a busy man. And thanks to you, he won't be wasting his time smiting careless couriers with levin bolts. So I'd say you did us both a service. Here, for your troubles. If there's anything you're wanting from Sid, today's the day. He'll be sweet as honey once he gets his hands on this.
Red letter day. And Sid has a daughter, huh? Right. I think that is about it.
Send a message.
Though... Oh, I was going to say, I wonder where the Moogle is, but he's still here. Let's go speak to Otto then.
Clive, was it?
Take a seat, Clive. So you're really going through with it? Sid's been talking about bringing down a mother crystal since I've known him. But that's all it's ever been. Talk.
He's convinced it's the right thing to do. We'll be leaving for the capital shortly.
Well, you couldn't have picked a better moment. Seems the hiding the royalists gave him wasn't enough to dampen old Sylvester's spirits. His legions are on the march again. This time, due south.
Another war.
All as the great Grieger wills it. Bloodthirsty little miss, that one. That's God's for you, innit? Still, might work to our advantage on this occasion. Wars breed chaos. On the front lines, and at home. With a fair wind behind them, A handful of like-minded ne'er-do-wells could melt into the back alleys of Oriflamme. No trouble. It's making it to the capital that's the problem.
The checkpoint.
That's right. Anyone travelling in or out of Oriflamme has to go through Northreach. Lucky for you, I might just know of a way.
This?
Well, no, not that. That gets you an audience with the Dame. And it's the Dame who'll see you safely through Northreach. I'll send the Stolas in the morning. Let her know you're coming. We go way back. And she's a true friend of the cause. I'm sure you'll get on like a house on fire.
That's good of you, but who is this Dame, and where will I find her?
She's the proud proprietress of Northreach's foremost house of ill repute, the Vale. And she's quite a woman, if you know what I mean.
A woman? Right.
Don't go blinding her with your charm now, lad. I'll be expecting a full report when you get back.
Alliant reports unlocked. Alliant reports. Alliant reports are now available for viewing by speaking to Goat at the Alliant report counter in the Hardaway's Mess. These reports, compiled by Cursebreakers, contain information on quests currently available across Valisthea.
I suppose that's everything. Now to find Gav.
Oh, you're the new lad, aren't you? Goat at your service. Well, at the Hideaway service anyway. Otto's put me in charge of reading through the reports sent in by our allies and picking out any problems that might warrant the attention of the Cursebreakers. Or any other willing volunteers. And there's no shortage of problems, I can tell you. Or maybe I don't have to. I'll warrant a strapping lad like you's got people begging him for help wherever you go. Anyway, if you're ever interested in taking a look over the list, just say the word. Reckon you could probably tick off the odd thing here and there. They say little acts of kindness are their own reward. But if that ain't enough, these have got proper bounties on them and all. Me?
I do what Otto tells me. Suppose you could say I'm his right-hand man. He's a hard master, but not nearly as hard as my old one was. When that man beat me bloody and threw me out into the streets to die, it was Otto who found me and took me in.
The way I see it...
I owe him, and so I help him look after the ledgers, as well as reading through all the reports coming in from our allies across the Twins. And if it sounds like someone out there needs our help, I'll make a note so I can point any willing volunteers in the right direction.
So, what'd you say?
Are you willing? There's no surer way of turning Otto's frown a little less frowny.
Here you go.
Finding new quests. Use Go's Alliant reports not only to find new quests around Valisthea, but also travel immediately to the obelisk waypoint nearest their location. Okay, this is literally Lost Wing where we just were. Welcoming committee, dying on the vine. Hold on, we can R2. Where's this? Oh, the cat's away. Is that... Oh, that's back in Martha's reach. Can we just grab all of these, or do we have to go there first? Or do we have to go there?
Seen enough?
Okay, well, I would have put a hold on that for now.
Well, 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 someone's in a hurry.
Just following orders.
Funny, I never took you for the type.
Can't all be as obedient as you, Gav.
Eh?
Fine day for a little mischief, wouldn't you say?
Is this all of us?
Actually, Gav won't be coming.
Just the three of us, then?
Drake's Head is the keystone of the Empire. Oriflamme's in chaos, yes, but that doesn't mean we can march an army through her gates. The fewer our numbers, the better our chances of going unnoticed. And should that plan fail, well, we have our icons to fall back on.
Sid, I don't know if I can. Ifrit still seems to come and go as he pleases.
Ordinarily, priming an icon comes naturally to a dominance. But then, you are no ordinary dominance.
Well, he's still got the blessing of the Phoenix, doesn't he?
Not to mention what he sucked out of Garuda. And did I ever tell you about how he was once the greatest shield in Rosaria? You know, I reckon he could probably cut us a path out of the capital on his own if need be.
Let's try not to find out.
We're less likely to be spotted if we travel separately. I'll meet you in Northreach in a few days. You two behave now.